Hello everyone. So we're going to be searching for a waterfront property in the area of Englewood, Florida. That's on the Gulf of America. So what we're going to be doing here is going to start with adding the info. Englewood, I'm going to put it for 400 grand. Obviously our budget is going to be way less than that, but for the purpose of checking and monitoring later if homes are reduced in price, I'd rather start high and work myself downward. Property type, we're going to go with, for now I'm going to leave it open just because I've noticed some lots, even though I don't want to build, but for this search I'm going to go ahead and leave it open. And obviously I'm going to put over here specify it's got to be waterfront. So I got waterfront right here. Even though my wife wants a pool, I'm not going to put a pool on the search engine because I think it's best that we have more properties available. We can always add a pool later. Right here, I got ocean view and waterfront. So I got 67 results. So we're going to go ahead and check this out. I was checking this property here. This is land. It was just reduced $48,000. So that caught my eye, and I noticed it's a pretty wide canal. So I'm going to go ahead and open on this property here for the sake of just curiosity, because what we're looking for is a single family home, but this definitely caught my eye. So I'm going to go ahead and expand on the search here. It's a slab of concrete. There was an existing trailer there at one point, a mobile home, and maybe it was damaged by the hurricane and it was removed. But this piece of property here is 7,500 square feet. It's a good sized property, and it is Englewood. So I'm going to go ahead and expand on the map here so you can see where it's located. This is a nice area because it's close to the beaches. A lot of restaurants in the area as well. It's a touristy area. We like it there. This is where we want to end up. So I'm going to go ahead and expand here so you can see where we're at exactly as far as the water and what it would take to get out to, open water, not the canal system. So here's where we're at, this mark right here. So you need to come up and then you make a left and you go down here to the canal. This here is you're basically open water right here. This is Lemon Bay right here. This is an area where you can go to different beaches and sandbars. It's nice. And on this side right here, this is the Gulf of America already. So it's pretty close. I mean, according to the realtor, it's 20 minutes to get out to the water out here, which is not bad at all. So this is a nice area. My ideal situation is a CBS home, which is, concrete home. But I thought this is a good deal, $60,000 for this size lot, and it's, you own the property. I thought that's a good deal. So based on that, I wanted to, just highlight it. And like I said, it's not what we're looking for, but I was curious. And since we're, doing a search in the Englewood, there might be somebody out there that might want to, buy a property like that for $60,000 and just put a trailer on it and you're done. You got everything that you need to have your boat and what have you there. So this is basically for the viewing audience here. This is on this side over here. That's the Gulf of America. This is Lemon Bay. Englewood is over here. So you can tell. Look at the water on this side. This is what you get when you're in that area of Englewood. You can go out boating and you can just go to any of the sandbars. Let's go over here. This is a nice picture of it. This is where that property that we were talking about earlier is around this area here. This is the Lemon Bay area. And you come out through here and all this, look at the water. Look at the sand, the white sand beaches. This is all a nice area for boating, the sandbars. So anyway, it has nothing to do with the house that I'm searching for, but I just wanted to give the viewers some info on the area that we're concentrating in, my wife and I. So let's go ahead and look for a property. And wow, look at this. This property, we went to see this property, and there's actually we have video on this property already. This property is up for auction. It's been up for auction forever. We actually were following in one of the auction dates, but going back to November, mid-November, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure exactly the date, but it was mid-November. They bid on the house. They never met the reserve, so the house, they never sold the house. The bad thing about this house, which you could see it in my other video, I don't want to be redundant on my explanation, but the house is across the street from a public park, and when we went there, we actually drove to Englewood. It's like 3 hours from Miami. When we got there, we were turned off by the location. So just, you know, I saw the house up again, and it's been up for sale for a while. So anyway, that's not what we're looking for. We actually went out there thinking, well, you know, maybe I can pick this house up for $150,000, but no cigar. Okay, so let's look. Let's keep searching over here for another property. Let's see what else we have out here. Okay. Okay, this house here. This is a nice piece of property here. This property, we went to see this property as well. We actually drove over there and we did a tour. It's on one of our videos as well. There's a lot of pluses on this house, but we weren't excited about the fact that the elevation on the house was low, and this house did have water damage. Not that that's an issue that's going to stop us in the future, but you know, being that a lot of the stuff that was already done, we're going to probably have to do it again because it wasn't done in a way where we felt comfortable. In other words, you know, the materials, they replaced all the windows. They're not impact, but they're new. So I would have to go out there and take all those windows out and put impact windows, and kitchen cabinets. It just wasn't something that we thought it was worth, you know, buying it for that amount of money and then having to go through it again. So even though the house is situated in an area where, you know, it's close to the area that we want, which is the beaches, the Englewood area, there was a lot of stuff that we felt, you know, we don't want to. We buy a house that needs work, fine, we'll do a little work and do it right to our standards, materials. But then there's certain things that we have to come back and do. So that's what turned us off. So anyway, on that note, we weren't, you know, excited about the house. We thought, you know, we could probably keep searching. And when we find that property, obviously it'll be the one we feel. So like this right here, let's talk about this bathroom here. Even though the bathroom is all there and it all looks, you know, together, but I mean, this is not what we want. So we definitely would have to redo this whole bathroom, even though the bathroom is obviously, you know, you could live there and there's no reason why you can't shower, you know, everything's there, but it's not what we feel we want. So we would have to redo this bathroom. I mean, easily, you know, you're talking 10, 12 grand for redoing a bathroom. So that's one of the reasons, we thought, we don't want to buy a house in the 300s and then still have to go through it. And there's a lot of stuff that when you see it in person, it needs attention. The pool was nice. We felt the pool was, and everything was there, in good working order. The, the, the screened-in patio was nice. That's a plus, especially in that area with the mosquitoes. The other thing that we felt was a good thing was it has a boat lift in the back. So, 10K boat lift, that's a lot of money if you have to do that. The dock is not bad, it's nice. So there was a lot of good stuff about the house. But like I said earlier, it's just one of those decisions that you make. We feel like, we have time. It's not like we're in a hurry. So we decided to just move on. This house, had it been a little more elevated, it probably would have been something to consider. It has a steel metal roof. We thought that was great too, because it's a new roof, but it was post-hurricane. The hurricane was October of 2024. So they did the roof, I believe it was 2022. So the roof withheld, the winds of the hurricane. So that's a plus as well. So anyway, we liked a lot of the stuff we saw, we liked, but then there was a lot of stuff that we thought we would have to redo. So we're moving on here. Okay, so let's keep searching. All right, we don't want condos, and we definitely do not want anything with HOA. I'm anti-HOA, and I just, I want to be left alone, and I know what I need to do to keep my place tidy. I don't need some board telling me, what to do. So I'm not one to do that. Okay, this is the other house that we went out there to Englewood to see, and just briefly on this, because there is a video on this house that we covered. Same location as the other one with the public park across the street. This house was on that auction site, and it went up as high as I think it was 260,000, and they didn't sell it. So there is a reserve on this property, and I'm just highlighting this because if somebody sees 349, I'm not sure what the price is, but if you look through the house, all the pictures, this house got hit really hard with the hurricane. This is on Lemon Bay. This property is directly a direct hit from the hurricane. So who knows? This house might be a tear down. This is something that I called the county over there before I even thought of bidding for this place, and I thought, well, let's go ahead and see, what's the deal? Do I have to tear it down, or am I allowed to repair? So, and there's basically a FEMA. There's a 50%. They call it the 50% damage. I forgot what the terminology is, but it's based on if it's more than 50% of the value of the dwelling, which is the building, not the land. If it's more than 50%, you have to redo the whole place, and redoing the whole thing is elevation. And you could imagine you're off there to having to probably just total demolition on the property. So this property, for whoever's interested, they need to do their research, because you could be really in trouble here with this property. But I don't want to spend too much time on that, because that is on another video. You can go there and you can see that other video, and there's a lot of information there. We don't want to waste time on that. Okay, so then we're going to keep looking over here for another piece of property. Okay. But we really like this area, this Englewood area. I think this is where we're going to end up because of the value. You get a lot of value, and you're right on the water. You know, there's a video that we're gonna be uploading in the future. Not yet, because I still have to do more work on that video as far as information and data. But it's based on the Keys, and that's really our dream place for my wife and I. And we've always wanted to be, in the Keys, but it's just so expensive. Living in the Keys is so expensive that any piece of property on the water, you're talking north of $1 million. You know, those prefab homes that you buy, those are trailers on concrete pillars, and those are six, 700, $800,000, and you got to go like all the way up to Big Pine Key. If you buy something like that in Key Largo, which is the first key heading down to Key West, you're talking north of $1 million for property. So definitely not affordable for us. We're on fixed incomes, and we're looking for a place that we can enjoy and make it our home. And we obviously have to be frugal when it comes to investing our money. And I'm sure there's a lot of our viewers that will be probably looking for something in the area. And these videos that we're doing and our journey is based on that, based on coming together and looking for that place and finding it, finding that place. So let's see here. Honey, you have anything you want to say regarding our journey over here? My wife Janine.
Hi guys, still looking for a dream home.
Yeah, we'll find it, baby.
We will.
We're optimistic, and we're gonna keep at it. We're gonna keep at it. Mm-hmm. So I saw this other home over here, and this might be something for one of our viewers. We went to see this house as well, and let me highlight it because I think it has a lot of potential. This home is basically a fixer-upper, but it had no water damage during the hurricane. It's a sort of little elevation to it, and the property kind of like it's carpeted inside, so you can't get away from hiding. You can't hide moisture and water if you have a carpet. And believe it or not, the place was nice and dry. When we got there, no odor to the place. And the only thing that basically we felt, even though it's priced right, I think the only thing that I would say for our viewers that might be interested in this home is that you got to spend money. It's not cheap to remodel anymore. And as you can see, the kitchen right here, I mean, it's all there. Everything is dated, but you could clean the place up and you can live there like it is. But I'm sure that for whoever wants it, they're gonna want to replace it and replace the kitchen. So how much is a kitchen in today's economy? It's a lot of money, So my wife and I, when we walk through the house, we're not afraid of this kind of work. We can do this, and we discussed it. See, this is a carpet from the 70s, So, but it's all there. Everything is original from 1977, and this property has a lot of potential. And like I said, I'll tell you our reason for not following through and making an offer. We felt at the time when we went there, and this is why it's important that you go and see if you're buying waterfront. The reason you buy waterfront is if you want a boat, if you have a boat, you own a boat, or you want to have a boat in your backyard, the most important part is the water, the depth of the water, and that's the issue here. So no seawall. This place has no seawall. So you have a lot of overgrowth, and when we got there, we were on low tide. It was all basically, you had sand and dirt. There was nowhere to put a boat. The center of the canal, you can't put a boat there and leave it there. So you would have to clean the canal. We called the company out there and they basically told us, you're looking at $30,000 between the cleanup and doing a lift. You know, you build a lift out here, a 10K lift. So you're talking between the lift and the cleanup, so you can get your boat in there and you're not, you know, basically your propellers in the sand. You're talking about 30,000. So you add 30,000. This is without the seawall. If you want a seawall, that's another 30. So you're talking 60,000 to redo your back, the you know, the seawall and your lift, and then you're looking at another 120, 130,000 to redo the house. So when you add that, you can buy something already and you don't have to do anything. And when you finance it, you get a rate of 6.5, 7, and you move on. So my wife and I, when we saw this, I mean, I was close to telling her, let's do it, honey, but thank God she's the brake and I'm the accelerator. So what do you say, honey? You have anything you want to add to the description of this property here?
Yeah, that property is, to me, is not the one that we need and what we want. Is the reason that we want a place in the water is to have a nice canal, a nice view of the water. We're not looking anything fancy or, you know, but we don't want that kind of canal. I told my husband that that's not the place. Even though the house is in very good condition, obviously, is everything is dated. You need to, you know, we have to do everything there, but it's not something that we have to do it, you know, immediately. Of course, the carpet needs to be removed um, as soon as we put, you know, a foot in that property. But besides that, you know, we can work it out with the bathroom and the kitchen. We can make it work. But the canal is not what we want. Besides that, there's two bridges um, that to me doesn't have any sense at all. They're very low, extremely low, one more than the other one. One of the neighbors told us that he has to cross uh, the one that is really, really low. You know, he has to go like that in a very low boat. We don't want that. We already have a boat that has a T-top, and we don't want to change that boat or, you know, do um, another you know, expense changing the boat or whatever. So that's not the property. I'm confident that there will be many opportunities in the months to come to for us to find the right home, the home that we not only the home that we need, uh, but also the one that we like, that we feel comfortable
Yeah.
in there, and we're, you know, we're gonna continue, you know, exploring the area that we like, and confident, you know, have faith in our God that that opportunity is gonna come. So
Okay.
let's keep looking.
Let me go ahead and close it up with, this is one of the things that I always look at. So for those viewers that are looking for a waterfront in this area or any area, always map the area out. My wife stated earlier that there's two bridges. This is where the property is. So you have to come out here, according to the realtors and folks that basically I went over there. We went and we talked to the neighbors. So, you know, we don't want to just go by what a realtor tells us. So we speak to the neighboring to that home that we're looking at. So it's about 20 minutes to get out to Lemon Bay. That's not bad, but there is those two bridges that my wife spoke of. So if you have a low, a boat and you don't have, if you have one of those retractable roofs, or you have a bimini top, that's fine, then you're okay. You still, you can get under the bridge, it's not an issue. But if you have a boat like ours with a T-top, I'm not gonna modify the boat, so that is a concern. Always look at that. So here we are, Lemon Bay, this is where the home is located, 20 minutes. This is where, you find the little sandbars, or you can come out here and then you have right here, the Gulf of America, where you can go out and do some serious fishing, or you can stay in the bay and you can still do some nice fishing. So anyway, we're gonna close the video and thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.